that little blue sticker means we passed on our tech. We've got a little bit of a honey-do list to do for the next time, but our first deal is just to see if we can make it down the track. We're gonna do soft launches to start with, just to see if we can get it down through, and then we'll put the wheelie bars on and hammer.
Soft launches to start with. Oh boy, did I lie to myself on that one. Okay, so let's talk about the honey-do list. The first part of this honey-do list is that we're basically racing as an ATV. So we need to, in the future, match to the ATV rule that your rear tire needs to be covered in such a way that you cannot have your foot drop off and go underneath your tire. What I've got to do is essentially from the wheelbarrow down to the foot area, I've got to put some grading in there so that my foot just plain can't come back into the tire. So this is the first race that I lined up for, and the starting light setup here is different than the starting light that I'm used to, and our starting light at the gravel drags is actually like more behind the line, whereas their starting light is actually physically on the line at start. I didn't realize this. I lit up the one yellow, and then I realized the other guy had set off the second yellow, and then I realized I was wrong and fixed it. So I did not launch at 3,000 RPMs like I planned on. I launched it probably closer to about 4,500. That white barrier is 3 foot tall, just to give you an idea of where my front tire is currently in the air. So I immediately went back in order to go put my wheelie bar on, because obviously we were able to launch on the tar, but I wasn't going to do it again without a wheelie bar. This one initial hit actually bent my front left rim, and I'm pretty sure it was the starting point of the end of my front left bushing. We didn't do too bad, but we did horrible for a machine that is known to do 45 plus miles per hour. Our top was 36 miles per hour, with a time of 16.8 seconds. That is horrible. Absolutely beyond horrible. But I wanted to follow up with the fact that why do we have a machine doing 36 miles per hour when it used to do 45 miles per hour in 200 feet?
I am not in any way arguing about safety equipment. But in drag racing, weight matters. This is what I was required to wear minimum drag racing on dirt. This is what I was required to wear minimum drag racing at the actual drag strip. 1980s helmet, worn out old boots, a t-shirt, canvas pants, Snell approved triple layer padding helmet, fully insulated padded steel-toed leather boots, full leather motorcycle jacket, full layered jeans, t-shirt, motorcycle gloves. I'm going to drop you guys down. We're going to get a base weight, then we're going to get this weight, and then we're going to get that weight. 0.4. Okay, now let's pick up everything we wore at the grass drags. $186.8. Now, let me see if I can manage to pick up everything that we had to wear for Winterport. And we figured out last year, cutting chunks out of the frame and everything to lighten it, that 20 pounds made a 6 mile per hour difference. So let's see what we're at now. This is really awkward, a lot of stuff to hold. We're at 192.4. So we'll run some math and tell you what the difference was. Alright, we got those swapped on so that we got the better tires on there. We got the other tires that we're currently working.
Okay, this video clip seems a little out of place, but it's not. So the tires on the left are the tires that I have been running when I was doing 45 miles per hour. The tires on the right are the tires that I ended up having to run in order to pass tech in order to run at Winterport. Here's the reason. The left ones are very, very weather cracked, and they never would have passed tech at Winterport. The other thing is, the left ones are round topped. You're just running on the very center lugs. They're also only 4-ply, and they're 8 inches wide. The ones on the right, which were what I were running at Winterport, are 10 inches wide. As you can see, the contact patch on them is giant. They're also a 1/2 inch bigger and taller, which adds to the amount of torque taken to spin them. And on top of that, they weigh 12 pounds more than the tires that I was running. So by the time you add all of that up, you've got 6 pounds worth of extra safety gear. You've got a reinforcement bar I put into the underside of the machine. You've got 12 pounds worth of extra tire. And top it off with the front tires are not the ones I usually run, and those weigh 5 pounds more. So we have an extra 24-ish, 25-ish extra pounds on the machine. We already know that 20 pounds cut 6 miles per hour, gained us 6 miles per hour in the past, which means if we added 25, we lost 6 miles per hour in the top end. So at this point, I've got my wheelie bar on, and we've figured out the light. We're on our second run, and we're going to see if we can hold the front end down better. I've got the wheelie bar set at about 4 inches off the ground because, yet again, I'm used to drag racing on gravel. I'm going to end up finding out that was wrong. Okay, right about here is when you can hear the engine has just plain topped out. But here's the problem. It's not topping out where it should be topping out. The entire day, I never got this engine that is known to turn 6,200 RPMs to turn past 5,800 after hitting third gear. It just was fighting the rear tires way too much because it was on the tar. We've got to change tires. I'm a giant parachute with this leather jacket on and these flappy jeans on that I'm wearing. If you look on the right, you've got me drag racing on gravel. I've got a t-shirt, I have canvas pants on that are tight, and there's plenty of air movement area to go through everything. We pulled off 35.7 and 16.9. At least we're consistent. Alright, I'm going to post a link down below. This photo actually came from a photographer that was there. I got her permission to use the photo. And I'll post a link down below to see tons of amazing pictures of other vehicles that were there that day. But I'm going to have it zoom in on something. What I'm zooming in on right now is the contact patch of that tire. In fact, I'm zooming in on the contact patch of both the front and the rear tire. The front tires, I had forgotten in ice racing, had 2 psi in them. The rear tires only had about 10 psi in them, making me have every bit of grip onto the tire as possible. So I went back to the pits. I pumped up the front tires to 15 psi. They're supposed to be at 10. This made them bulge in the center big time. And I pumped up the rear tires to 25 psi. This bike next to me is awesome. There's some pictures of it over on the website I was sending you to. You should go check it out. Okay, I'm not going to make you watch the entire run, because obviously I top out at about 300 feet. So what's awesome in this time slip is that you can see my 330 foot mark dropped by almost a half of a second. You can see my 60 foot drop by almost a half of a second. And you can see that the finishing time was A, faster by a half a mile per hour, and B, I was almost a full second faster than my other pass. We ended up doing another run after this that basically confirmed this. At the end of that run, my left front tire, the bronze bushing, had utterly had enough of the day. And we had a couple of other little quirky things that were starting to show up. One thing is we were popping in the upper part of the RPM. For some reason, the engine had an issue when we were racing it around this winter, and the carburetor's never been quite right, and I think there's something clogging into the jet, so we need to take a look at that. As it is right now from here, I think what we're going to do is definitely look into tires, although that's about a $300 investment that I haven't quite decided on yet. And then we're also going to be looking into engine modification from here. I would like to see your comments down below. My debate is getting up a GX390 twister cam, which is a stock height cam with a longer duration. And the reason why I'm debating putting in a twister cam for the next upgrade is because the twister cam helps you with about that 3,000 to 5,000 RPM area when you're dealing with stock internals. And the bog down on the launch, if we could get rid of that, I think would be a massive improvement on the machine. If we get on tires that are not entirely stupid, I think we'll do way better also. Ball bearing front rims definitely will help, and getting onto some rear tires that are back into the 25-inch category like we're used to running will definitely help also. Alright, there's my walkthrough / talking something or other on all of this. Thank you very much for watching and for supporting our future endeavors.